Hey there, welcome to another Slightly Redneck Quail update. I'm going to answer a few viewer questions today on things ranging from how I'm going to deal with waste under the hutch, to how many males to females you need, to how to incubate eggs from young birds. So we're going to get right into that. That's coming up next. All right, first of all, say thank you guys very much for the questions that you give me. The interaction's great. It lets me know that I'm on the right track with providing you the information that you're looking for. And I really love to hear it whenever somebody says, thank you so much, you've helped me out with something. That's the whole reason I do these videos. So keep those questions coming, keep that stuff coming, and I'll make sure that I get it answered as quickly as I can. Usually answer it in the comments and then feature it in a video maybe the next Monday. So let's get started with questions. The first question is going to come from us from Austin McLean. And Austin is asking, how long should I let my new birds lay before I try hatching their eggs? Well, Austin, that's a real good question. Whenever I bring up new birds and they start laying eggs, I usually try to give them about 2 weeks, give or take, before I start incubating their eggs. And I found that has worked out well for me. I didn't see anything that really was concrete on how long they actually need to lay eggs before they're fertile. But that 2-week mark has worked well for me, so hopefully that answers your question and helps you out a little bit. Okay, the next question is going to come to us from a viewer by the name of Huttenbaki. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. You know, what do you expect from a slightly redneck guy like myself that I can't pronounce non-English names very well? So if I got your name wrong, I'm terribly sorry about that, but I do appreciate the question. What he's asking about is he's in the Bahamas, and he says that quail are pretty expensive there. He can get some, but he wants to know what a good small set to start with is. Should he start off with a male and a female, or 1 male, 2 females, or 2 males and 2 females? He intends to breed them pretty quick and use his incubator to increase his flock. Well, I can tell you, I think the ideal ratio for roosters to hens is probably 1 to 3 or 1 to 4. I've had good success with both of those. I did notice that whenever I was doing 1 to 4, I got a lot more roosters out of my hatch rates, but I haven't tested that out fully, so I can't say that that's the reason why. But I did read some things that said that you know, if you don't have enough roosters, then you're going to end up with more roosters in the hatch because the females kind of determine that they feel like there's not enough roosters around, so that's what they produce. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm testing it out. We're going to see over a couple of hatches whether it improves whenever I increased my my ratio of males to females. So 1 to 3 is probably a really good starting point. I would say if roosters are fairly easy to come by, from either a cost perspective or an availability perspective, then that's a good place to start. The only thing that you might be concerned about is if it's hard to get another rooster and something happens to your one rooster, well, then you're out a rooster and you don't have anything to fertilize your eggs. But if they're easy enough to replace, 1 to 3 is probably a good place to start. That gives you enough eggs to really make it worth incubating. If you only start with 1 hen, then you're only going to be able to incubate 5 or 6 eggs at a time, maybe 7 at the most. And it'll take you a long time to build your flock up. So if you start off with 3 hens, then you're up closer to about 18 to 20 eggs that you can incubate at one time and really increase your your flock size pretty quickly. So hopefully that helps you out. One more thing about Huttenbaki, he's got his own YouTube channel, and again, if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, I'm terribly sorry about that, but he's got his own YouTube channel where he kind of shows off some things that he's doing there. He's in the Bahamas, so for me in Southwest Missouri, that's pretty cool to see some of the things he can grow. He can grow bananas, he can grow several different things there that we just don't have here, so it's neat to see how somebody else in another environment is handling things. I did watch one of his videos where he was talking about how he keeps his chicken coops clean, and I'll put a link to his channel down below, so go check it out. But that video I thought was pretty good. I really enjoyed it because he had a section in there where he had put sand, just basically filled the coop part, the nesting part of whatnot of his coop with sand, and said that's worked out great. He's got a little strainer type thing that he just strains the droppings of it out, keeps it clean, and the eggs come out clean. And I can tell you from the sandboxes I put in here, most of my birds lay in there. They don't really defecate in that sand that much. And the eggs come out just nice and clean. So what a great tip, and go check out his channel and see if you can't find that video on his channel. All right, and we've got another question from an old viewer, Allie Mae, and I don't say old as in old by age, but she's been around my channel for a while, asked a couple of questions, prompted a couple of videos, so thank you, Allie Mae, for that feedback there on that stuff and giving me some material to work with. Hopefully I'm getting your questions answered well. Okay, so what she asks on this question is how I'm going to be dealing with the waste that's accumulating underneath the cages. She's wondering if I'm going to have to shovel it out or rake it out or what I'm going to do with that. And I can tell you, Great timing on that question, because it's just now getting time to where I really need to do something about it. Now I'll get the camera and I'll bring it in here close and I'll tell you what I'm going to do about the droppings here. Okay, this is the underneath of the cage right here, and you can see that the droppings are starting to accumulate. This is probably, I don't know, maybe a month that they've been in here that they produce this much waste. It's pretty much put a cover on the ground. Interestingly enough, there's not really any kind of smell to this. When it rains and it gets all wet, then there's a little bit of an odor that comes off of it, but as soon as it dries out, there's not really any kind of offensive smell that comes with it. But it is starting to draw some flies. You can see the flies flying around. So it's probably about time for me to go ahead and take care of that. Now what I'm going to do here is, you got to figure this is pretty much all nitrogen. There's some wasted food and that kind of stuff in there, but it's all nitrogen. So it's really a good start for a compost pile, and this is really, really hot stuff because it's poultry droppings. So all I really need to do is to add some carbon to this, and I've got a really good start to a compost pile. And that's what I plan on doing, is just composting it right underneath the hutch. And then I'll rake it out probably once a year or something like that, and take that compost somewhere and use it in my garden or something like that. But great compost, or great source of carbon rich material. Think your browns, grass clippings that have been dried out, or dead leaves is what I'm going to use in this situation, or you could use straw or anything like that, and I'm just going to layer it out over that. One interesting thing that I've noted is you can see this side of the hutch, there's not nearly as many droppings over here as there is on this side of the hutch. This side of the hutch is the closed in. I'll show you. That's the side that's closed in on all four sides, and you can see over there is the open section, and these birds pretty much, for the most part, want to hang out in this open section pretty much all the time. Now at night, they'll go into this section right here and hide, or if something comes by, like if I go up and start bothering them a lot, they'll all run into this side right here and hide. And they'll go in there occasionally, like I said, to lay their eggs in the sandboxes and those kinds of things, but for the most part, they hang out in the open section over here. And I found that kind of interesting, that they didn't really hang out in the sandboxes or in the closed-in section all that much. Okay, this pile right here is a pile of shredded up leaves, and what I did is I just went back here between the neighbor's fence and my property right here, took my leaf blower and I blew all the leaves down into this corner right here, and then I turned it around to a vacuum, sucked them all up and mulched them up, and dropped them right here. And I'm just going to take these and spread them out over the bottom side of the hutch here. And nothing special about the way I'm going to do that. I'm just going to put kind of a thin layer over the top of everything. Be careful when I'm underneath there that they don't poop on my head. And I did mulch these leaves up, like I said, with the leaf blower first, because that'll help them to break down a little bit quicker. So I'll end up with compost a little bit faster with these leaves mulched up, as opposed to just leaving them whole. When you leave leaves, kind of funny, but when you leave them, whole, what they tend to do is they can tend to mat up on each other and kind of create like a tarp-like effect. So when it rains and water gets on this, it's all just going to run off or pool up. And I don't want that. I want the stuff to mix real well. I want the worms and things to be able to come up and till this around a little bit, stir it up, and then break this stuff down to make it compost. And mulching them up in these little bitty pieces like this makes it a lot easier for that to happen. If you don't have a leaf blower, you could just line these up and then run over them with a lawnmower, and it would do pretty much the same effect. All right, that's about all there is to it. You can see I just put a thin layer over this. I'm going to let the droppings go ahead and continue to fall on this stuff, and probably here in about another month and a half, I'll need to come out and add some more carbon-rich material to that kind of stuff. So, but that's really about all there is to what I'm going to do with this. And probably once a year, I'm going to have to come in here and rake this stuff out. But then I'll have compost that I can use in the garden area and other parts of the yard. So hopefully that answers your question. All right, one more thing about Allie Mae. She's got her own YouTube channel as well, where she does a lot of videos on her chickens, some of her quail videos. She had a video where she had an egg that was, oh my gosh, it was like the size of a chicken egg almost. Thing was a massive egg, and all I could think of was, oh my gosh, poor bird had to lay that size of an egg. But it's an interesting video. She does a lot of things where she shows off her beautiful family. So go check out her videos. I'll put a link in that too in the description of the video here below. I think she's going to be somebody that's worth watching as well. All right, that's pretty much all there is to this video. Hopefully you're enjoying this new format where I'm doing quail update videos every Monday and answering some viewer questions. Not a whole lot to update on the quail themselves. Nothing's changed since the last video. I do have some eggs in the incubator. I'm praying for a successful hatch this time. I'm trying to get an incubation video done, and the last two hatches have been just catastrophic failures. One time was a incubator malfunction, and I got a new part for that, and then the next time was my stupidity. I didn't clean it out real well and had a bacterial issue. So this one, so far so good. Hopefully, cross my fingers, I'll have a new incubation video out here in 20 days or so. Thanks for watching this video. If you have other topics that you want to have discussed, whether it be quail, rabbits, gardening, or pretty much anything, let me know in the comments below, because I'm going to be starting up the rabbit videos again here pretty quick. With fall coming on, it's going to start being time to start breeding the rabbits and getting them producing. And if you got questions on those, I'll be happy to work out a rabbit update weekly video as well. So thanks for watching, and as always, God bless.